Tonight on News Hour. Transition to modern agri models crucial for food security, experts say at 22nd Daily Trust Dialogue. Kaduna ginger farmers sound alarm on market volatility as cost of production soars. Strange illness strikes Niger communities, 24 hospitalized. And on the international scene, Ethiopia bus accident kills 25 people. Good evening. Welcome to Trust TV News Hour. I am Sumaya Abubakar. And now the details. The participants at the 22nd Daily Trust Dialogue have called for a shift from outmoded and unsustainable agricultural practices to integrated and productive models to ensure food sufficiency in Nigeria. Themed food security, availability or affordability, this year's dialogue held in Abuja spotlighted the pressing challenges of achieving self-sufficiency in food production. The experts and stakeholders provided diverse perspectives on how to address these issues. Shafil Suleiman tells us more.
The annual Daily Trust Dialogue, according to Kabir Yusuf, chairman of the Media Trust Board, serves as a platform to reflect on national issues and propose actionable solutions to Nigeria's key challenges.
Which is about food, when you reduce it. We use all sorts of language, food security, whatever, or we're talking of food, which all of us can relate to. And why are millions of our citizens not having enough of it?
Chairman of the event and founder, Songhai Farms, set the tone for the discussion by emphasizing the urgent need to abandon archaic agricultural practices. He advocated adopting integrated models to enhance productivity, value addition, and ecosystem efficiency.
How can we unleash new mindsets? Even though our land is getting smaller and smaller, we can. I'm now approaching from the cemetery. We can unlock the environmental capacity, possibilities of our soil to change this around. This is going to be the provocative thing that I'm going to be launching to you today.
Other speakers, including architect Kabir Ibrahim, president of the All Farmers Association of Nigeria, Idi Maiha, Minister of Livestock Development, and Mera Mehta, co-founder and CEO of Tomato Jazz, highlighted the barriers to food availability and affordability. These include insecurity, climate change, inflation, and inadequate support for farmers. They also offered practical solutions to address these concerns.
A classical economic perspective would say that actually availability and affordability typically go hand in hand. You know, when you think about supply and demand, when you have more availability of food, you usually have more affordability of food because as availability increases, prices typically drop. We have not found that to be the case in Nigeria.
That is why the talk all over Nigeria is that, if you remember, 1.5 years ago, the dollar was about 400 or 500. Today it's 1,006. So people cannot afford food. But a blind man who is even told that there are eyes and knows that he would not get them would say the eyes smell. That is why the talk all over Nigeria is that there is no food because it's not available. People cannot afford it, so it is not there.
The current hunger situation in the country can be eliminated or reduced significantly through the deployment of the wide range of livestock resources, which can play a significant role in the nation's economy, food security, and rural livelihoods. Nigeria is richly endowed with a wide range of livestock resources, which play a significant role in the nation's economy, food security, and rural livelihoods.
A consensus emerged. For Nigeria to achieve food security and affordability, the government must tackle insecurity, address climate threats, reduce inflation, adopt integrated agricultural models, and provide value-added support and incentives to farmers. Without these measures, the goal of food sufficiency may remain elusive. Shafil Suleiman, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Discussions on Nigeria's food crisis dominated the sidelines of the 22nd Daily Trust Dialogue held on Thursday at the NAF Conference Center in Abuja. With food inflation soaring to an unprecedented 40.7% over the past 3 years, Millions of Nigerians are grappling with rising hunger and hardship. Trust TV's Ibrahim Ismail reports captured the perspective of participants and analysts at the event. Take a look.
The World Food Programme estimates that over 26 million Nigerians face acute hunger between June and August 2024. At the sidelines of the 22nd Daily Trust Dialogue, participants expressed deep concern over these alarming statistics and urged policymakers to adopt actionable strategies to address the root causes of food insecurity.
Yes, because movement of food from various locations has become a challenge because of our infrastructure. We know how our roads are, and then at the same time, high costs of transportation too.
The major challenge I see we are encountering with respect to surplus availability of food is still insecurity. A whole lot of farmers cannot access their farms as a result of insecurity. Especially in the north, where majority of the large chunk of the food, the larger chunk of the food we utilize there are from the north, but they can't access their farms.
As debates about food availability and affordability continue, data reveals that approximately 40% of Nigeria's total food production is lost due to poor post-harvest practices, inadequate storage, and inefficient transportation systems.
To make sure that farming strive in the country is give the farmers the enlightenment they need, call them together, enlighten them, make avenues for them that, okay, this is the way to do it. Farming needs precision. Give them the seed, avail them the fertilizer. And one other major thing the farmers should also get, so that they don't get burnt and go back to their penury, is that they need to take insurance. Insurance is the key to farmer sustainability.
While panelists and top government officials, including the Minister of Livestock Development, outlined solutions during their presentations, critics stressed the need for policymakers to move beyond rhetoric and focus on implementation.
What really are the governors learning? What are the local governments learning? We ought to see a situation where local government chairmen, their councillors, they come to be taught many of these things in Kudan farm. Some will go to Shanghai farm. You now come replicate them within your environment, and that is just how to overcome poverty. That's how to overcome hunger. But when we just simply believe and there is God, Allah Nana, God will not come and farm for us.
The relentless rise in food inflation is worsening living conditions, with about 48 million Nigerians, 37% of the population, living below the poverty line. The challenge ahead for the government is clear: turning dialogue into action. Experts at the 22nd Daily Trust Dialogue emphasize the need to confront the real issues and drive meaningful change. Ibrahim Ismail, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Becoming unaffordable for the peasant farmers in Kaduna, as the high cost of production is hindering the expected bumper harvest of the produce in the state. Amidst the harvest period, the price of a bag of ginger has surged to hundreds of thousands, with farmers in southern Kaduna saying they will lose their source of livelihood if the situation is not addressed. Trust TV's Bello Musa, who visited some ginger farming communities in southern Kaduna, reports that the farmers are struggling to survive. The report.
The southern part of Kaduna State has long been the largest ginger production area in Nigeria, producing over 70% of the country's 726,000 metric tons of the crop. In 2023, a severe fungal disease swept through southern Kaduna, decimating ginger yields and leaving farmers with significant losses. The aftermath of this calamity has been compounded by soaring prices for essential farming input, making the ginger farming a risky endeavor for many farmers in the area.
To yanzu wanda na kala na kawo na sai da shi 20,000, 120. To idan
I can't buy seed. The ginger I bought here, I sold at the rate of 150,000. And a bag of seed is 205,000. I used to harvest 100 bags, but what I got this season is not up to a bag.
A
lot of farms could not plant. Yes, they don't have the seeds, and then the price of the seedling again skyrocketed, escalated.
With Southern Kaduna ginger, reckoned as one of the best in the world, the scarcity of the produce has led to a surge in the price of a bag of ginger, disrupting the entire supply chain.
Ginger now it started this season 300,000. As I'm talking to you now, is about 600,000 per bag. Dried one, fresh one. Before you get a dried ginger, you have to cut like 3 to 4 bags of fresh ginger. Now fresh ginger is 250,000 per bag.
This place was once dominated by ginger for export, but is now deserted due to low harvest of the produce. The exporters are expressing fear that Nigeria may lose its position in the global market as the second largest producer of the commodity if the situation is not arrested.
Since the ginger is very small, the quantity is very small, we found out there's very competitive in the market, even though there's no any single kilo is being exported now. For now, those people that are exporters, because the price locally is more than that of overseas for now. So anybody that is buying now is just for local consumption within West Africa. So that is the reason why we found out that some of us will lose customers from overseas, those people depending on the ginger coming from Nigeria. If we continue, there's no ginger, they will ship their demand to other countries.
The few farmers who were able to farm ginger this season have to employ the service of local vigilantes to protect their farms from thieves who visit the farms in the night to illegally harvest the ginger.
Local thieves, they are the ones that will make this issue will be a problem. Because those people that are trying to keep the seedling, you find that they are going in the night digging the seedling. Even those people that are covered their ginger for seedling, they will find out that they set it ablaze by fire. You find out that that's the issue that we are facing. You find out that somebody today is digging his ginger. He cover it, you want to keep for seedling, but half of the ginger has been docked. They have been still in the farm.
As ginger farmers, we are appealing to the government to come to our aid because we incurred losses. Some farmers are now transitioning to growing other crops like turmeric, maize and soybeans, as these alternatives require less financial investment than ginger. From Jama'ah local government in the southern part of Kaduna State, Bello Musa reporting for Trust TV News.
The fluctuation in the prices of petrol has continued to be met with mixed feelings of excitement and relief by many Nigerians. But in Kebbi State, the residents who expected a trickle-down effect on the prices of goods and services seem to be disappointed, as that has not been the case. The report.
A visit to Zuru, Kebbi State, revealed a harsh reality as despite occasional decrease in fuel prices, the cost of living in Zuru remains high. Residents are struggling to make ends meet, with transportation and feeding costs almost crippling their lives.
Honestly, we are calling on the government to help the average Nigerian as we are suffering greatly due to the high cost of living. The government should hear our cries and make life easier for us by addressing essential needs such as food, transportation, and education. Some of us are forced to sell valuable household items just to afford transportation. We implore the government to take pity on us.
The cost of transportation these days is unbearable for average Nigerians. A distance that was supposed to be 5,000 is now 10,000, which really affecting the business, the daily activities of the fellow Nigerians. I think government need to really sit and strategize how to control the prices of fuel and spirit, so that our businesses, fellow Nigerians, the less privileged, the motherless, the homeless can have something to be done.
Motorists, on the other hand, blamed the lack of reduction in transportation costs on the deplorable state of the road. They argue that the constant need for repairs due to the poor road conditions adds to their expenses.
Every time we buy spare part, because if you are moving because of damage or fraud, so anytime we are suffering, we buy tire, shocker, and I call government to help us repair that road from Zulu to Koko for us.
The motorist complaints highlight the need for urgent attention to the country's road infrastructure, which has been neglected for years. Until the roads are improved, motorists say they will continue to struggle with the high transportation costs. The people of Zuru are calling on the government to address the underlying issues affecting the cost of living in their community. They want urgent action to alleviate their suffering and improve their standard of living. From Birnin Kebbi, Cynthia Yungu, Trust TV.
24 residents of Bidda local government area of Niger State have been hospitalized following the outbreak of an unknown illness in the town. Reports say 20 of the victims have been discharged after spending more than a week at the Federal Medical Center and Umaru Senda Ndayako General Hospital, Bidda. The illness, which reportedly causes sudden collapse and loss of communication abilities, has sparked widespread panic in the town. Multiple sources said the number of hospitalized victims since Monday were more than 20. A resident of the area, Abdul Malik Umar, said 2 of his brothers were among those affected but had been treated and discharged after over a week in the hospital. When contacted, the Niger State Commissioner for Secondary and Tertiary Health, Dr. Bello Tukur, stated that the incident was a result of untreated severe typhoid and malaria. Now joining us via phone call to give an update on the situation is Trust TV's reporter in Niger State, Abubakar Akote. Good evening, Abubakar.
Good evening.
It's good to have you. Now, walk us through the specific symptoms of this illness beyond the sudden collapse and loss of communication. Are there any other noticeable signs or patterns among the affected individuals?
What the residents said is that even those that have been discharged from hospital are yet to fully recovered. The communication ability lost, so some of them have not fully returned. Even when the Minister of Health said it was typhoid and it was severe untreated typhoid and malaria, the residents are having a contrary view over the issue because of the nature the situation happens. Somebody will just collapse and then instantly lose communication abilities, which many people believe may not be typhoid, symptom of typhoid or malaria. So, though the ministry said they are going to carry out more laboratory examinations after taking blood sample of the victims to know if there are other underlying elements that's trying to break out from the town.
So currently they are conducting investigations to determine the exact cause of this illness.
Yes, they said blood samples have been taken, and National Center for Disease Control has also been notified with regard to, so that they can undertake a laboratory test to effectively establish if it's actually typhoid as earlier stated. The relations of some victims have said the typhoid and malaria medications were admitted without even the families are informed of the type of the ailment the victims were suffering from, which will make them also doubt if actually the right thing has been done by medical experts handling the situation. But the Niger Ministry of Health has assured that National Center for Disease Control has been notified, and they have taken the blood sample of the victims to go for laboratory tests to further established if the helmet is beyond typhoid and malaria as earlier stated.
So, this must have caused a panic in the community. What is the level of awareness and cooperation in this community regarding this health crisis? And are people at least made mention, or are they being aware that there is a disease outbreak like this, and they should be extra cautious and take precautionary measures?
The only sensitization the state government and in collaboration with the bigger local government area have done so far is issue of hygiene. The residents have been sensitized to maintain personal and environmental hygiene, and also they should take maintain high food with high nutrient diet. That's all. But the rate at which the elements spread between Monday and yesterday was quite was on a high speed. That was what created fear among residents, some of them even leaving the town, because about 4 areas were affected within 4 days, within 3 days, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, which made them so that it might go extend to other areas. Although with the sensitization, I learned that the people are going with their businesses while awaiting further action by the government and health experts.
All right, we'll have to wait and hear from the experts. Thank you so much, Abubakar Akuti, for that update. All right, moving on from that story, 6 people, including a baby, reportedly lost their lives in an accident along the Lambata-Lapai Road in Niger State. Rescuers said the accident occurred around 12 a.m. on Wednesday when a golf car carrying 8 passengers en route to Niger Republic collided head-on with a Lagos-bound passenger bus near Lapai town, the headquarters of Lapai local government area in Niger State. One of the rescuers, Muhammad Abdullahi, said 6 passengers in the Gulf, including a baby, died on the spot, adding, however, that the driver of the Gulf and 1 passenger, Lawal Ibrahim, survived the crash without injuries. He said 9 out of the 14 passengers in the bus sustained varying degrees of injuries and were taken to Lapai General Hospital for treatment. One of the rescuers at Lapai General Hospital, Lawal Ibrahim, said a survivor from the Gulf car reported that their driver fled the scene with a phone belonging to him and 199,000 naira cash found on one of the deceased passengers, saying that efforts to locate the driver have been unsuccessful. 1 person has reportedly died, while 11 others sustained varying degrees of injury after a passenger bus rammed into a stationary truck along Okosi-Amasiri Road, a remote area in Ebonyi State. Locals said the accident happened at Amenu village of Okosi community in Ohuazara local government area, a major interstate transportation route for Enugu and the southern parts of Ebonyi State. According to eyewitnesses, the 14-seater commercial bus, which was conveying passengers at about 2 p.m. on Wednesday, rammed into a tipper truck, resulting to the death of a yet-to-be-identified female passenger suspected to be a prospective member of National Youth Service Corps, the NYSC. It was gathered that the deceased female passenger and a few others may have been heading to the NYSC Permanent Orientation Camp in Afikpo town to report for the mandatory orientation program for the 2024 Batch C/11, which opened nationwide on Wednesday before the tragic accident. One person at the accident scene revealed that emergency rescue operation came from some military personnel who evacuated the body of the only dead passenger, while the injured were helped by residents who rushed them to the nearby David Umahi Federal University of Health Sciences, Dufus in Uburu, for medical treatment. This is News Hour on Trust TV. Coming up, Lagosians call for robust internet services amid the growing user numbers in Nigeria. This and more to come after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. If you are just joining us, this is Trust TV News R. Here's a recap of our top stories. Transition to modern agric models crucial for food security, experts say at 22nd Daily Trust Dialogue. And Kaduna ginger farmers sound alarm on market volatility as cost of production soars. Now moving on to more stories. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu says enhancing the welfare of officers and men of the Nigerian Armed Forces remains paramount to his administration. President Tinubu spoke at the groundbreaking ceremony of a new defense complex and at the inauguration of an army barracks named after him in Abuja on Thursday. The president expressed his gratitude to members of the armed forces, lauding their efforts under the leadership of the Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa. President Tinubu also emphasized the importance of locally producing military equipment to enhance domestic defense capabilities. Speaking earlier, the Chief of Defense Staff said a new state-of-the-art facility for the armed forces had become imperative because the Garki headquarters, which was initially designed to be a temporary office, has become inadequate for its operations. He also said the new facility will serve as a beacon of excellence and a symbol of dedication and modernization of the Nigerian Armed Forces.
Armed Forces Complex is to honor the unbroken spirit and dedication of the men and women who serve our great nation. Thank you for that unbroken spirit. Thank you for what you have been doing for the country to keep us safe and building our confidence for a respectable, peaceful Nigeria. On this occasion, we open a new chapter in our nation's commitment to ensuring the safety and security of our people.
We embark on this journey to create a state-of-the-art facility that will serve as a beacon of excellence and testament to our dedication and to modernization of the armed forces of this great nation. The location of our current armed forces complex in Garki was initially envisaged as a temporary site headquarters for the three services. However, owing to the transformation, expansion, and increasing role of the armed forces in managing the nation's security landscape, the complex has gradually become inadequate to accommodate the expanding departments of the defense and service headquarters. Accordingly, the proposed new complex is designed to address this challenge with ultra-modern facilities that will support strategic and operational responses against both conventional and unconventional threats in the country.
The UK State Minister of Defence, Lord Vernon Coker, has said that the United Kingdom continue to strengthen ties with the Nigerian army to end insurgency in the northeast. Lord Coker stated this during an operational tour at the Maimalari cantonment in Maiduguri, the state capital. He said the UK government will continue to support the military with trainings and logistics to address the menace of IED explosions threatening socio-economic activities and peace in the region. He commended the Theatre Command for the successes recorded during offensive operations. The Theatre Commander of Operation Hadenkai, Major General Waidi Shaibu, said the recent attacks in local government will not deter its pursuit for peace in the state.
Well, what I'm trying to emphasise is the importance of Nigeria to the UK and the importance of us to each other. So what I'm recognising is that Nigeria is one of our strongest partners here in West Africa. We support them with the regional activity that they have, We support that across the region as well as within Nigeria with some of the threats that they've had on the border. And the general and his troops, along with the government, have done an excellent job.
Yes, insurgency in the northeast is on the downward trend, and it is a work in progress. We'll continue to do our best to ensure that we achieve our mandate of restoring peace and in the northeast region, and to ensure that socio-economic activities thrive. That the troops have been doing, and will continue to do that strongly to ensure we achieve our mandate.
Governor Dikko Ratda of Katsina State has commended the exceptional leadership qualities of division and brigade commanders operating in the state. The governor described their leadership style as exemplary, as they personally led military operations and demonstrating unwavering dedication and professionalism. The governor stated this while receiving the Director of Public Relations and Information, Nigeria Air Force, Major General Ibikunle Ademola, as part of his tour to all states under the 8 operational divisions. The report.
The governor testified that the joint operations of the Nigerian Army, Air Force, Nigerian Police Force, Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, and Katsina Community Watch Corps have yielded significant improvements in the task of securing the state. Governor Ratda confirmed that there was significant improvement in security as farmers accessed their farms freely without any hindrance, thereby bolstering agricultural production. He said this is an improvement when compared to previous years.
I must say that the insecurity situation has really reduced. We were able to farm and we were able to bring our product to our various homes. And then we appreciate that the efforts that is put in place now is really quite commendable.
Earlier, the Director of Public Relations and Information, Nigerian Air Force Major General Ibikunle Ademola, explained that he was in Katsina State as part of his first quarter operational visit to all states under the 8th Division to discuss with the state governments on the newly launched Operation Safe Northwest. He said this initiative aims to mobilize communities, enhance security operations, and foster sustainable peace.
Emphasize that it has been a normal problem during the dry season when we classify the operations and we come and say, oh, we want to surrender. But this time around, we want the assistance of the state government also have a different approach based on a very holistic ideal program. So I'm sure the coming days, the team of defense on that, so that we can draw improvements in line with the plans of the state.
Major General Ademola also noted that the Chief of Defense Staff had written to the 4 states within the zone on the recent developments, particularly reports of some bandits expressing interest in negotiating peace. The army boss, who categorically stated that the Nigerian army does not engage in negotiations with criminals or bandits, however, said the army is committed to exploring holistic approaches to address persistent security challenges. The GOC, however, expressed appreciation to Governor Ratda over the consistent support to security operations in the states.
The aerial assaults from the Nigerian Air Force have killed scores of suspected terrorists hibernating at Alawa Forest in Shiroro local government area of Niger State. In a statement on Thursday, NAF said the airstrikes were executed by the air component of Operation Fansanyama, a special offensive launched to flush terrorists out of the northwest and north-central regions of the country. A statement signed by the Director of Information and Public Relations, Dopre, Air Vice Marshal Olushola Akimboyewa, said the operation also dismantled the terrorist logistics base in the forest. The statement assured that NAF, in close coordination with ground forces, remains resolute in its commitment to maintaining operational dominance across the region. It added that sustained efforts are underway to eliminate all criminal elements from Alawa Forest and surrounding areas, ensuring lasting peace and security for communities in Niger State and beyond. Still on security matters, the operatives of the Nigerian Police Force have rescued Folashade Odumosu, the wife of the former Assistant Inspector General of Police Hakeem Odumosu. The victim regained her freedom on Wednesday. It was gathered that the Ogun State Commissioner of Police, Lanre Ogunlowo, led the operation that saw to the rescue of the retired AIG's wife. Force spokesman Muyiwa Adejobi disclosed this on Thursday. During the operation, the kidnappers were neutralized. Adejobi said the operatives equally recovered the ransom paid to the kidnappers as bait. On litigation matters, the Court of Appeal sitting in Akure, the Ondo State capital, has upheld the death sentence of popular hotel owner Ramon Adedoyin, who was found guilty in the murder case of an ex-master student of the Obafemi Awolowo University Ile-Ife, Timothy Adegoke. According to the court's judgment on Thursday, the judgment by the Osun State High Court, which sentenced Adedoyin to death, still stands. The appeal court had reserved the judgment on October 29, 2024. Adegoke was found dead in November 2021 at Adedoyin's Hilton Honors Hotel, Ile-Ife, where he, the deceased, had lodged. Residents of Lagos have urged mobile money operators to ensure robust network services as mobile money transactions via smartphones become increasingly prevalent. This follows a report from the Nigerian Communications Commission, the NCC, which revealed a surge in internet users with smartphones as the primary access point. The report.
As Nigeria undergoes rapid technological advancements, mobile money operators, MMOs, are primed for substantial growth. The industry anticipates a significant rise in smartphone penetration, projected to reach 65% by 2026, propelling mobile money services to new heights. The surge in smartphone penetration amidst Nigeria's burgeoning internet and mobile phone access is a key driver for mobile financial services. A business expert speaking off camera to Trust TV emphasized that increased smartphone adoption will significantly enhance financial inclusion for millions of Nigerians previously excluded from conventional banking services. On the streets of Lagos, residents shared their views on the growing trend of using smartphones for mobile money transactions. Many highlighted the crucial need for effective network services from all mobile money operators to ensure faster and more reliable transactions for future generations.
They should keep to their network. Their network, if the network is good and not really bad like the other bank, it will help people very well. You transact money on your mobile app, instantly you see the money, you send money, you see so the network is very, very important. It will help the mobile banking than this other banking or something like that. So, and that's all. I think the network.
Smartphone and mobile money, I would say it has been easy, it has been convenient, less stressful. Instead of running around going to the bank, so you can just do your transaction with your mobile money on your smartphone, in your home, convenience, your office, wherever you are, you can just use it and do your transaction.
Something that is important there is network. In this country, Nigeria, we don't have good network. We can't have good network. Sometimes when you want to transfer money all the time, network failure, network failure. So we need to improve that network in this Nigeria, this country.
All this new mobile banking is helping the people a lot for now. As of now, it's helping us during the time of to go bank and you begin the process of the bank. You can see now you can use our phone to do anything. Our phone is helping us a lot nowadays. You cannot go bank and begin to do other things, bringing your documentation. You can just use your phone to do whatever that you want to do. Even to cash your money, you can use only your phone. As far as now we are going to the cash transaction in Nigeria, you can see that it's helping us a lot.
The future of mobile money in Nigeria appears promising, with smartphone penetration projected to rise significantly in the coming years. The sector's growth potential is immense. Nigerians are therefore positive that mobile money operators will expand their customer base, integrate innovative technologies, and offer a wider range of robust and effective network services to meet the growing demand for digital financial solutions.
Nigeria's Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Wale Edun, has expressed support for the 50% telecom tariff hike, urging telecommunications companies to enhance service delivery in line with the price increase. This first hike in over a decade, aimed at reviving the telecom sector, was announced by the Nigerian Communications Commission on Monday and has continued to spark debate and controversies across the country. Edun described the tariff adjustment as essential for sustaining the sector amid rising operational costs and inflation. He further emphasized the critical role of the telecommunications sector in Nigeria's economy, calling it essential to the country's infrastructure and business environment. The finance minister assured Nigerians that the tariff adjustment would be reviewed periodically to ensure it remains balanced and fair for both consumers and operators. In business, World Trade Organization Chief Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala on Thursday urged nations to keep calm over tariffs, warning that a tit-for-tat trade war would be catastrophic for the world economy. Okonjo-Iweala made her appeal during a panel discussion on tariffs at the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland, in a week that saw U.S. President Donald Trump threatened tariff against China, the European Union, Mexico, and Canada. She recalled the fallout from the Smoot-Hawley Tariff Act in the United States during the Great Depression in 1930, which prompted retaliation and worsened the global economic crisis at the time. Nigeria's total debt service cost, which include external and domestic obligations, rose to 3.57 trillion naira in the third quarter of 2024. This is according to data from the Debt Management Office. The data showed that the country's external debt service payment in the third quarter amounted to $1.34 billion, an equivalent to 2.14 trillion naira when converted at the September exchange rate of 1,601 naira 3 kobo per dollar. This reflects the combined impact of increased external debt service payments and currency depreciation. Accordingly, the total debt service cost for the third quarter of 2024 reached an estimated 3.57 trillion naira, marking a quarter-on-quarter increase of 60 billion naira or 1.71% from 3.51 trillion naira recorded in the second quarter. In comparison, the second quarter external debt service of $1.12 billion was valued at 1.65 trillion naira based on the June exchange rate of 1,470 naira and 19 kobo per dollar. Now let's join Yusuf Akogu for the stock market update.
Welcome to Stock Market Update. I am Yusuf Akogu. Investor sentiment dragged stock market year-to-date performance to 0.09% on Thursday. Key drivers of today's trading are Morrison down 9.98% to close at 3 naira and 61 kobo per share. Suno Assurance also down as well, 9.53% to close at 5 naira and 41 kobo per share there as well. Deep Cap also ended on the negative side of the market, 9.43% it lost to close at 96 kobo per share there. This has dragged down the index downward by 0.07%. Volume of trade 382 22.7 million shares, value at 22.50 billion naira in a list of 11,933 lead exchanges among investors. Of course, the top trading equities by volume. We have Jitco Guarantee Trust Holding Company there, leading the table there, 42 million shares traded. UBA, 37 million shares traded. Of course, Zenith Bank Nigeria PLC traded 25 million volume of shares at the close of business today. Of course, some equities ended on the gaining side of the market. Leading the gainers today is SOA Motors. SOA Motors gained 9.76% to close at 3 naira and 60 kobo per share. Dacom PLC also gained 9.09% to close at 84 kobo per share. Of course, May and Baker also recorded 8.43% gain to close at 9 naira per share there. And that's the highlight of Nigerian stock market for today. Let's see stock market from other climes. And that's stock market update. I am Yusuf Akobu.
Thank you, Yusuf, for that. Now, from the international scene, police in Ethiopia say a bus on Thursday overturned in the country's northern region, killing 25 people. The accident in the Dawont district of Amhara region also left 14 people seriously injured and receiving treatment at hospitals in Delanta and Dessie. Road accidents are common in Ethiopia, Africa's second most populous nation, where roads are often poorly maintained. More than 70 people died in December when a truck carrying wedding guests fell into a river. Another bus swerved into a river in southern Ethiopia in September, killing at least 28 people. South Sudan on Wednesday ordered internet providers to block social media platforms including Facebook and TikTok following violent protests over the deaths of its citizens last week. Demonstrations erupted in capital Juba last week over reports that clashes in neighboring Sudan had killed 29 South Sudanese but turned violent with people looting Sudanese-owned business. Anger spread across the impoverished nation, with officers opening fire to disperse crowds and later detaining hundreds of looters. In a letter addressed to the country's internet providers, the National Communication Authorities NCA, the Director General ordered them to block access to all social media accounts effective midnight of January 22, 2025 for a maximum of 90 days. The move was later confirmed by at least 3 telecommunications firms operating in South Sudan, although as of late Wednesday, some people were able to access Facebook in the country still. 25 victims, families and survivors of apartheid-era political crimes have sued South African President Cyril Ramaphosa and his government for what they say is its failure to properly investigate those offences and deliver justice. The group is seeking about 167 million rand, an equivalent of $9 million in damages, according to the case filed at the High Court in the capital, Pretoria, on Monday and shared by the Foundation for Human Rights, an NGO supporting the families, on Thursday. They are also seeking an order compelling Ramaphosa to create a commission of inquiry into the political interference that resulted in the suppression of several hundred serious crimes arising from South Africa's past, according to a statement released by the applicants. A spokesperson for Ramaphosa said his legal team would respond to the court papers accordingly, adding that the president had never interfered with the work of law enforcement agencies or directed them not to prosecute apartheid-era crimes. South Africa was ruled by a white minority government for decades, enforcing institutionalized racial segregation before becoming a multiracial democracy in 1994. It's now time to join Adenia Jishafe for sports news.
Two referees of the Nigerian National League NNL have been stepped down from the list of match officials till further notice. The referee of the Week 5 game between Crown FC of Ogbomoso and Dakada FC of Uyo, S.A. Williams, and Muritala Folahan, the assistant referee too, will now be appointed for another match until further notice. According to a statement signed by Aminu Mohammed for NFF Referees Committee Chairman, dated January 22, 2025, the stepping down of the referee stems from the decision of the match officials that have no recourse to any part of the loss of the game in view of the incidents that occur in their match. The NFF Referees Committee used the opportunity to send a note of warning that the body will not tolerate misconduct that will bring the game and officiating to disrepute. The NNL has been plagued by integrity questions over the years occasioned by poor interpretation of the laws of the game, lack of game management, or outright wrong decisions by match officials. And still on football, in line with the FIFA Women's Football Strategy 2024 to 2027, the Federation of International Football Association FIFA has introduced 6 new programs to the FIFA Women's Development Program as part of efforts to develop a women's game at all levels. The new programs are to the existing 7 for FIFA Women's Development Programs, open to all 211 member associations. They are aimed at providing them with funding and programs as well as access to football facilities and technical support. The 6 programs that highlight the renewed FIFA Women's Development Program until 2027 are Global Benchmarking of Women's Leagues, Elite Performance Coach Mentorship, Elite Performance Women's National Team Preparation, Coach Education Scholarships, Individuals, Coach Education Scholarship for Groups, Commercial Strategy Pilot Programs. The new development programs focus on key areas of football and structural development tailored to the needs of member associations. This is in addition to the existing Women's Football Strategy, Women's Football Campaign, League Development, Club Licensing, Capacity Building for Administrators, Women in Football Leadership, and Coach Mentorship. FIFA revises Global Women's Football Strategy with a view to setting the pace for the growth trajectory, establishing tactics and game plan to deliver on the ambitious objectives to increase the number of opportunities for girls and women, both on and off the pitch. That's Sport News. I'm Adeni Haji Shafe.
And on that note, we wrap up Trust TV News Hour. Do not forget to follow us across all our social media platforms and join our YouTube live stream for more news programs and documentaries. I am Sumaya Abubakar. Thank you so much for watching and good evening.